Okay, hello. Let's wait for a bit so people can join us. Um, I will put the introduction video on screen so we immediately see the good results. All right, maybe a minute or two. Okay, shall I make an intro then?
Be my guest, our guest.
Cool. Cool. I'm very excited. I'm very excited today. Like for both of you, like cool. I always enjoy like when there are more people around that are able to talk, share, and just like come up and show up as they are what they're doing. So yeah, for today, like we have a guest, which is Eric Purcell, more known as Spurs, which we talked about him. Oh, hey Steve, hello from France. We already talked about him in the previous session where we highlighted his life portrait experiments. And he does a lot of tutorials. He does a lot of workflows on his YouTube channel. So I highly recommend checking that out if you really want to dive deep and check everything how it works. Like, yeah, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be, and that's why I'm also excited that today, like both Luca and Pers are here to like share and talk and discuss and just have a good time. So yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
not
what.
only that, Bert has his own Discord server. So I encourage everybody to join it. You learn so much from over there. And definitely check out Bert's YouTube channel. It's one of my favorite places to go to learn new stuff. He has a lot of guests on his shows. I mean, the best AI artists right now, and chats with them about workflows, how they work, and yeah, amazing stuff. Oh, by the
Yeah,
way, Eric, I noticed a couple of weeks, months, I lost the sense of time when I started working with AI. It was
Yeah.
maybe a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months ago that you created this amazing workflow with separate IP adapters with the Civit AI logo, and it's one of my favorite workflows. I love it.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yeah, you said at that time that you start sharing your workflows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain why?
Oh, yeah. Basically, companies are spinning up the workflows I was sharing with the community as products and not involving the people who helped them build all that stuff. So, um, yeah, I thought I'm going to still teach everyone how to do everything. You can watch that video and rebuild that workflow yourself, absolutely. But the convenience of just clicking it and getting to work, I decided to put behind the Patreon paywall, so that if you want the convenience, you can pay for it, but and you can support. It's something my supporters get, but otherwise, yeah, I'm not going to gatekeep the information. I'm always going to teach you how to do these things, but the one click turnkey stuff, you got to sign up for that basically now, because they ruined it. They basically made it so that, and unfortunately, I've noticed a massive downturn in shared workflows, since that stuff started happening. So it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. Open source is open source. So I'm just navigating my relationship with the space. So this is a personal decision of mine, and I don't expect anyone else to do the same thing or feel the same way, or I get some hate for it, but it's fine. Again, all the information's out there, so I'll teach you how to do it until the day I die. But yeah, that's
Awesome.
basically
Yeah.
why I went behind the paywall.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
well
and I
done.
also noticed that on one of my favorite Discord servers, Banadoko, has stopped. I mean, there are no more ad resources workflows as they used to be. It
Yeah,
just
it's
slowed
unfortunate.
down radically. So yeah, it sucks, but here we are.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it
Yeah.
makes sense. I think it's good like that. like the nature of open source is just like we all openly share, but like when kind of like predatory like mindset comes in, like you gotta protect yourself. And I think like the way like you described Pers of like share openly all the information as much as you can absorb, absolutely. But the convenience, that is basically what companies charge for. They charge you for
Mhm.
convenience. So you might as well, do that. Awesome. I'm glad to hear like you're finding your footing in this as well, because I think it's very important, because it's very easy to like get taken advantage of by all of these different like companies and just bad actors, I guess.
Yeah, and again, it's the nature of the beast. They have no ill will. They're doing what they want to do with the
Yeah.
information, but there's other things to consider too, like the fact that you can't actually deploy Comfy as a back end without uh, open sourcing your deployment code. And if they're taking community workflows that only work in ComfyUI, it's very points to the fact that they're probably using ComfyUI as their backend,
Yeah.
which is not, it's against GPL. So I don't know, man. It's all very slippery, and yeah, I just
New.
try to stay on the open source side of it. And I don't know. I think the least we can do is respect the licenses of the people who make the tools that we use, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to prove your point, I made the same upscaling with on my local machine with super badass upscaler, and
Mhm.
went to the website. We all know which one is for upscaling, and I got the same results. So it's clear they just stole that workflow.
Yeah, repurposed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I mean, that's how it's been with AI, right? Like the
Yeah.
open source released it, and now like here we are. And I think that's kind of how it's gonna continue going, Like I do genuinely think, and I'm very surprised, but also like so overjoyed that like open source is the leading force in this technology, because I think like as many resources as these companies have, and like as big as they are, still like individual people I'm just pushing it, and for me that's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, I always love it. I always love to like see this. But yeah, I think there's just like new areas always require like a lot of different things, even like legal and like the copyrights and all these things to be figured out. And I do think
Mhm.
like individually, like as you are pers figuring it out, I think everyone is. And I hope, yeah, there's just like the open communication and conversation will happen as often as possible, so everyone can kind of have a say in like how they feel about this and what their place would like to be here.
Yeah.
All
I
right, a
agree.
lot of people kind of tuning in. Lawrence from
So
France.
we need an intro for our comfy coffee. So again, welcome everybody to another session of Comfy Coffee, where we'll look at life portraits. It's a revolutionary tech. It's going to change so many things. It's amazing. We've been seeing examples people are doing everywhere on the internet, and it's one of the best things in last couple of months, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, first of all, we'll be checking out the Hello, which is a predecessor of Live Portraits. You can get it on GitHub. It's from creator Avish. Yeah, but when I tried to install it, I got a couple of errors. I tried to install those notes from Manager, but it just doesn't install. We were talking about that with Pers, and maybe Pers can explain it just a bit why it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. Well, on the GitHub, it says that you require. I see down there it says it requires a specific version of Torch. You were just on the page there, but yeah. Basically, um, or it requires a specific version of Torch and a specific version of Xformers. So you're gonna have to go in and edit your Comfy environment. So the next step after you start playing with Comfy as a front end is to start to learn how Comfy works as a back end, and how the environment works, because squashing dependencies actually becomes 90% of your job when you get into advanced Comfy stuff, because like none of these Comfy node packs like each other. So you have to learn how to make them basically play in the same sandbox. And that's what this is. It's basically one node is requesting something that's going to break 4 other nodes. So you need to, figure out if you can replace that version, or if you have to make a whole new install of Comfy for this one tool because it'll break your other nodes in your other environment.
No, that's well explained. That is well
Yeah.
explained, though. Well done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, we won't be looking at Hello, but we have another commercial app for live portrait. I mean, live portrait is going to become a synonym for face acting.
Hmm.
So Hydra is another commercial example of it. So you just put your text, or you upload your audio, you upload your character, and no, yeah. Well, let's see what happens. No, upload. Oh God. Um,
So you can generate your own characters inside
yeah,
as well, right?
exactly. But I'm going to stick with Fat Mike from NoFX. I created him as a country singer, and you just press generate. You have free plans. You have 12 credits, and it will do its job.
I think, as usual, like these commercial products are just a very convenient touch point for anyone who hasn't like done any of this. It's just like the convenience of like pressing a button and maybe some free credits just makes it easy to like get into it. But
Oh
I do
yeah.
think like if you really want to get into it, you gotta get into Comfy like as early as you possibly manage.
Yeah, so we encourage our viewers to just start playing with Comfy. I mean, it can be scary at first, but you get into it very, very quickly.
Maybe you can check it while this is generating. Maybe you can jump into
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
interface to
this is,
compare how a convenient interface looks like
yeah.
and how Comfy
So
looks.
this is the official workflow of Live Portrait. It was developed by Kijai. Am I wrong?
No, yeah, that's right. He did the workflow. He wrapped the process as well into a node pack.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is the example workflow for using it.
Yeah. And the famous initial motor.mp4. Yeah. All right. So I am not going to mess with it a lot. I did a couple of tests. Initial tests weren't that good, mostly because I have beard, and just won't cut my beard because of comfy videos. So
Dedication, man.
Yet someday you'll break.
yeah.
Yeah, there will be a technology, and you will be like, damn, okay.
Okay, so that was pretty fast, and you'll notice that also that live portrait is extremely fast. So let's see what Hydra produced.
It's pretty good, right? I mean, there's movement. The hair is moving. It's
Yeah,
not too
yeah.
distorted.
It would do a better job if the character would be centered on the screen,
Mm.
but
Hmm.
It's not bad.
yeah, it's not that bad.
How's the sync to the mouth to the audio? Because
It's
I
bad.
can't
It's
hear
bad.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's not good.
oh, it's bad, but that's probably because the image is not.
That's too bad because it looks good. Maybe it's just out
Oh
of
no, no,
sync.
but it got better. Maybe it's just my connection. Maybe it's doing
Hmm.
post processing in the back. But now that for the third time, it's pretty good. You don't hear my audio?
No,
No,
No?
no.
no.
Huh. Hold up. How do I fix
But
this?
also like this, like Hedra, like you generated audio inside Hedra, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah. Um, Well, like with live portrait, like so it again comes like different inputs, right? I think you can also upload your own audio here or even video in
Exactly.
Hedra.
Exactly.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. If you don't want to mess with Comfy, just go to Hydra and create your own avatars. But the thing is, you will definitely get the logo of Hydra, so you'll have to delete it or just live with it,
Or buy a subscription,
or buy a subscription. Exactly. Yeah.
as these
Um.
things go.
So yeah. Yeah. First, are you ready? Do you want to share your screen with us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's
There's
do
a
this.
quick question here. Somebody asked, even if the audio is out of sync, can't you take it into an NLE and finesse it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course. You can always do retouches. And I think that is also like a big part of always have to retouch things that come out of AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being I mean, I always think of these tools as workflow augmentation, not replacement. So,
Very good, yeah.
sometimes they'll replace the whole job, but a lot of the times, no.
Even then, I think like like there always needs to be at least a supervisor, if not an
Yeah.
actual like skilled worker on top of these things.
Yeah,
And that's why
absolutely.
I'm always laughing because people are so afraid that we all are going to just lose our jobs. No, actually, no. AI will make 80 to 90% of the work, but those 10 to 50% are very, very important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
As David said, 100% as well. Yeah, on point.
Yeah.
Um, all right, Pers, if you
I'm just
share
looking
your
for
screen.
I'm just looking for a face to replace here. Let me share my
Also, like
screen one.
as you said, Luca, I think this technology is one of the more breaking ones recently
Yeah.
because it breaks so many like steps in a production line or just like combines like different ones. It really like it transforms it transformative.
Yeah, definitely.
Another
I mean,
question was
we're just talking today to someone on LinkedIn, and I said that it's not about replacing acting; it's about post production. So, for
Mm,
example, if you take the something they shot, the video, and you don't replace the video, you add stuff, you take some out, you color correct it, you grade it, you work on the video. You don't just replace it. So the same will be with acting. It will be act post production.
it,
So if the director won't be satisfied with those minor mimic acting, they will just hire a face actor, and they will do the finesse in the post production.
hmm
or even the same actor can do just the face performance, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I read somewhere today. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was you, Pers, like it was your post that somebody said like, "Oh, can you have like a 10% happier performance?" I do imagine that's how directors are gonna be in the future. They're just
Yeah,
gonna
notes. Yeah. Well, I mean, but yeah, later when this is even faster and we're diffusing it, we don't even need the input footage, right? Like that'll be a slider or a knob. Maybe we'll have
yeah.
like an emotional control panel or something.
Yeah.
Hello, error messages. Welcome.
Oh.
Yeah. Error occurred when using live portrait
There was a
crowd.
question in the
It's
meantime.
possible because his head got chopped off. Maybe that's why.
Hmm. Um,
It does a node or workflow exist that can output directly to your favorite NLE or image editing software?
yeah.
I mean, sure. You just export a JPEG or a PNG or a MP4, but there is a node my friend Phil just made that actually lets you just pull photo PEA like right into
Oh,
Comfy. So
No, no, no,
yeah,
no.
you
Photo P is already in out there for a while. He made a Photoshop, right?
mm,
well, Phil made a photo P one that
Oh.
works better than the old one.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I don't know if there might be a Photoshop one too. I don't know.
No, I thought it was
But
Photoshop, but yeah.
yeah, just trying to find one where their head's not cut off because I think that's what happened.
All right. So the thing is,
Um,
you need to this to work. You need original video and you need a driving video.
yeah.
So original video is something you shoot, and the driving video is your head, which has to be perfectly still, right?
Yeah. Your input footage has to be pretty. Yeah, let's try this one.
Ooh, that's ambitious.
And look at that, how fast it is.
It's just loading the video now. So right now we're loading the video into memory, and then we're
All
going
right.
to resize the video, and it's going to go into the live portrait cropper, and it's going to try and sort of key point the face. And then when it's done key pointing the face, it'll try to apply this to the key points, and then it'll be done on this side over here. So yeah, but
So,
hopefully this will work because this crashed last time, and I don't know why.
so can you explain a couple of settings so people can know, or people will know what to change, what to mess with?
Hmm, something's very broken here.
Okay.
I haven't tested this in a few days, so they might have done an update that broke my stuff. So I might not be able to show you the end result. But basically, what happens is this finishes, and then you get, a video out with your face or your movements on the video. And yeah, the settings are really. This is just a mask that determines sort of around the face what it's cropping out, because like you'll notice if you don't use this, sometimes when the head moves, the hair stays in position and the head will like move around.
Mm.
So like this helps to feather that a bit and like add this little bit of blur to that to make it less noticeable when the head moves and stuff like that. So that's what the mask is for. And then this is the cropper. These settings you don't really need to play with because they're just like all the defaults work great. um, and you don't actually need the live portrait cropper here. This is just for if you have input footage that isn't stationary like this, you can use this to try to lock it down. But as I mentioned before the show, uh, if your input footage is not extremely stable like this, it's just going to be a terrible result. And then this is the live portrait process itself. And here's where you plug everything in: the pipeline, the crop info, source image, the driving images, and the mask. And then these settings are for video. They come with the workflow. Don't change them. They work great. Um, Once you start changing this stuff, nothing will work. It's all extremely sensitive. So
So don't touch anything, just put
yeah,
in
basically don't touch anything. Yeah,
videos
use
and
it.
play.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only thing I rewired was that I made it so that the source video determines how many frames of the destination video, because they had it the other way around where the source video was determining the length of the animation. But in this case, if your destination video isn't long enough, it'll actually just loop it over and over again. So it's really cool, because that's what I wanted to show was, as the course of this animation goes on, this thing still keeps playing over like the span of its time. So the destination video will actually loop over and over again, but it'll do different things on each loop because it's, reacting to the input footage. It's a really cool effect.
so how long input videos can we put inside?
Okay, a
We
quick
have
a
a
quick
limit.
moment. Quite
Okay.
quite a lot of people asking questions, so maybe it would be good to just check in,
Sure.
and then we can move forward. Um, Darian said that like Andy Serkis is a good example of what we were describing of like face performances, and I do think like yeah, as he says, like this will just be more feasible with these technology of like the face performance would just be like much easier to do.
Mhm.
Golden BBVC ask when did this originally happen? Not sure what you're asking about, but if you can explain more. And Ramon asked, what is the custom node you recommended, Pers, for the Photoshop? I think we
Oh,
will leave
it's just
links.
infill nodes.
I
It's
think we
just
will
an
leave
infill.
links to everything in the comments afterwards, so you can
Yeah,
also just
Put
access
that
it.
in here.
he created a couple of post production notes, so
Mhm.
you can mess with your images or animations, and it's
Yeah,
really
they're
really
great.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw quite a couple of them like recently. I was like, damn, like in a row, it's like bam, bam, bam. It's
Yeah,
really
they're super handy to have because you can use them anywhere. Like you can pre-process your stuff before you dream over it and stuff like that, and really break your pipeline up. And yeah,
yeah.
it's cool.
Mark asked, "Hello, Mark. What is the highest resolution output with this workflow at the moment?"
Eh, I don't know. I haven't tried because Comfy sucks at high res anything.
Yeah,
It's just it's the nature of the beast. The way Comfy loads videos into memory is it loads the entire video into your your GPU. So this is fine when our resolutions are like 576 by 320 and like 896 by 512 and stuff like that. But once you start hitting to like 1080p and stuff, Comfy hates it. You're just going to run out of system memory and VRAM. So like basically what you want to do is get your thing looking as good as possible in Comfy at like a medium resolution, then take that into Topaz or something, get it up to production quality. Um,
yeah,
you might be able to output higher if you get more VRAM, get more RAM, but it's really it's a losing game with Comfy because of just the way it handles video, the way it has to handle video, unfortunately, just because of its nature.
mm, yeah. I think yeah, that's the usual. Even with images, like that's the usual workflow. Start like low
Well,
res,
I'll also
going.
say though, live portrait can go much higher because it's not actually diffusing; it's like doing something else. It's doing like face replacement. So
Mm,
I really think that's just a waiting game. Like you can try just going crazy with it. It might work. Um, I because it's not trying to like go into latent space and like diffuse and then hit a VAE decoder and do all the crazy Olympics that diffusion does. It's literally just going frame by frame, looking at the face and putting a new face on each frame. So, um, yeah,
And
you might
yeah,
get away with pretty high res actually. Now that I think about it,
yeah,
and it
that's true.
uses inside face, right?
what's that? Inside face?
It inside face.
That's what it uses. Yeah, that's the underlying
Yeah,
foundational
yeah,
technology.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just today, a couple of minutes ago, you were talking about um, the what is it? The licensing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, inside face licensing is you're not allowed to use it for a commercial product or project without contacting them. And I don't know what the cost is. I've heard that it's it's more than you'd be willing to shell out. I think on a test product. So yeah, if you see live portrait stuff out there in the wild, be very wary of it because it probably won't last very long.
So
Uh,
you can't use those videos commercially.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't understand what the actual licensing means for people who are just using the tool. It's my sort of vague layman understanding that that's more geared towards commercial spin ups, like when you're trying to use it as a sell it as a service. I think that's where the commercial licensing comes in, but it might be blanket commercial use in any capacity, which means, yeah, it's probably best to avoid using this commercially until somebody gets sued and we find out what the rules are.
That's that's a lot of the things the legal is waiting for. Just
Yeah,
a
just
lawsuit.
waiting for someone to get sued, and then
But
yeah,
I mean, as usual, like I think it's just nice to read like the terms and conditions like these companies have and the licensing they have. But some of them, like I know, like the large language models, like Chat, like OpenAI, and also Google with Gemini, are they would cover your like lawyer costs, like your suit costs. If somebody were to sue you, they would cover it. Like they have that written inside. So
oh
I think
no.
like there is no real like precedent around this because of this. Like nobody has gotten sued around this specific topic. But I
Hmm.
think yeah, like as an individual, just take care of yourself. Like what does the company say if you use their product? And if you use it like open source, then more or less like you're responsible for everything that happens. So yeah,
Yeah.
it does get quite murky and shady around these topics.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I
how?
have a question actually.
Mhm.
Did you try using it on anything different than video footage, like animations or 3D stuff?
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
It only works when it detects a human face. So if it doesn't detect a human face, it's full stop, and that is on any frame. So your face has to remain a face throughout the entire animation, and uh, that's definitely true for the source. I'm not entirely sure about the destination, but as far as I can tell, as soon as live portrait cropper stops seeing a face, you're dead. It's over. So I have not successfully been able to do like Muppets or like animals or stuff like that, but I have seen some stuff. So I don't know where that's. I think maybe the image version that comes like, so when you first install live portrait, it can only do images. Like it can't do videos out of the box. You have to enable that by enabling the dev side of it, and then loading up the workflow and doing that. But on the original side, you can do just from a single image, and it's possible that is what they're doing, maybe animating from a single image. But I think with the video thing, if it stops seeing a face, you're done. But yeah, I have to test that more. I've only been doing people, but would be interesting to do like 3D characters and stuff for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, I don't know, it might be okay with like video game people, like like metahumans and people that are pretty close.
Yeah,
I think there's might be a uncanny valley threshold that you can hit there that would make it work. But
yeah.
I haven't tested, so I can't tell you for sure.
I actually found an example of
one
using
question.
live portrait on a cat.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
So yeah, here it is. I'm sorry you can't hear the audio, but it's
fantastic. This is what I'm here for. This is the weird AI stuff I'm into.
Oh,
Mark says
that,
he wants to test this with metahumans. Yeah, absolutely. You should. In fact, Mark, if you want to send me a little video of a metahuman after the show, I can run it through my system and we can try it out. Just yeah, fire me a message. Let me know. I'd be curious to try a little metahuman footage to see if it works.
yeah, that would be cool. Damn, it's a cat.
After I fix my environment, I don't know what the hell's going on.
There's another question. When upscaling in Topaz, how true to the source is the output?
Well, Topaz is a blur, stretch, and sharpen upscaler, which means it can't give you any new detail. So if your input footage sucks, your output footage is going to suck. There's just no getting around that. So the best thing you can do is make sure that your input footage is as best as you can get it. Even whatever res it is, it doesn't look like crappy footage. If the footage looks crappy, Topaz can't do anything because it's not dreaming in new details at all. It's just kind of stretching the pixels out, blurring them, and then sharpening in on that. And that's just a process they've developed that works really, really well. Like in large batches of images, videos. But the benefit of doing upscaling with AI, like latent upscaling, Magnifique, super badass video upscaler, all that stuff, is you're dreaming in new details. It takes forever, but you're getting new detail into it. So even one pass of that before you go into Topaz can make all the difference in the world. If your input footage is like, around 800 by 800 or something, if you do an upscaler pass on that, get it to like 1024, then run that through Topaz, it's going to be way better than that original footage through Topaz. But yeah, I mean, it's latent upscaling, looks great, takes forever. Topaz ESR upscaling is fast, it looks bad. Not bad, just it looks the same, just upscale.
Yeah, takes forever. That's the challenging part.
Yeah, latent upscaling takes ages. Yeah.
Shall we like go through it?
You can find a super badass upscaler at Banodoka server. I think it is, but it's hidden in between in a chat or somewhere. It doesn't have its own channel or whatever.
Yeah, it's in the AD resources channel.
Yeah.
And then in the very top of the post, Palm has a link to the latest version of it. So you click on that and it'll take you right to the JSON. You can download the JSON. I literally tested it last night. Still works great.
Yeah.
So you can
I just used it before our meets, and it produces great results.
Fantastic.
If you guys can find it, you can DM me. and I will send the JSON file to you.
Hmm.
And the best thing is it doesn't need anything. Just change the checkpoints, VAE, and
Yeah.
the LoRa is the same. And that's it. You have notes below, and it works great. It's really amazing. Oh yeah, and you need the upscaler model. I recommend for photorealistic stuff NMKD Superscale 4K 4X, and AX is also pretty good. And SIAX is also very cool. Any NMKD upscaler model is really cool.
That one he mentions at the bottom's great for realistic scenes too. If you're the what's it called, rescaler, something rescaler,
Uh-huh.
it's fantastic. It looks great.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But yeah, the 4X ones take forever. So if you want to upscale quickly and you're only going up 2, you can use the 2X models, but they don't look as good as the 4X models.
Yeah. But it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
Yeah, it really is. Unless you got like over 200 frames or something, and then you're in hell. But yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise,
Go to sleep, right? Just run it. Go to sleep.
yeah, run it
Wake up
overnight.
to a beautiful movie.
Hope your GPU doesn't catch on fire.
Oh, and there is not a batch version, but if you want to go to sleep and just throw in a folder a couple of videos that you want to have upscaled, you will need those 3 nodes, and it's really simple. You need a seed, a vid director iterator, and load video, and that's it. You put in the directory path, and always put it on increment, and then just Q prompt, hit it a couple of times, and you're good to go to sleep, and you will wake up with crisp upscaled videos.
Yeah, I did that last night.
There you go.
Oh, cool. Should we go through the life portrait then? Just like the idea and the logic behind it on what goes in, why do we do this? Basically, just a bit of a overview, so to understand the concepts of how we can use it, like which areas it apply to, stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, again,
What is your usual process? Yeah, how do you start this? Like, what is your first step?
All the stuff I was saying about humans seems to be out the window. So let's forget that, because that dude totally got to work with a cat. So yeah, let's. I mean, for me, I think if you have a voice actor and they are willing to use their face while they voice act, you can film them and then you can put that face on whatever character, whatever action thing happens later. So for me, I think that feels to me like the way to get maybe a more famous actor to do the facial capture in your studio and the voice and all that stuff, and then put their gestures on a cheaper actor in a space. You know what I mean? So like, I think that would be probably use case number 1 once we figured out the commercial side of Insight Face, once studios can do that. I think that'll really help, because if you can't afford Morgan Freeman on set for 3 months, but you can afford him for 2 weeks in a studio, it's a pretty cool option. Or when people are reading their audiobooks, all that kind of stuff, you could just film it and then you just have the entire performance. And later down the road, you could have that person you could animate that person sitting beside a camp or beside a fireplace, right? Drinking tea, narrating their entire audiobook. So
It's sort of a motion capture, yeah. It's just
so I think motion
slightly
capture,
different, but in the
performance
same
capture.
Yeah.
performance capture, yeah, nice. That's the word. Brilliant.
But yeah, so you find or make that video, static video, and then you find a video you want to put it on, and you literally just put the one video in the one spot, the one video in the other spot, and the workflow makes it pretty easy. You really don't have to change anything. You just run it, and you can select how many frames you want to do. I always start with a low amount of frames to make sure it's even going to look good before you do an entire run. So you would do that on whatever video is controlling the amount of frames. just you'd start by just loading 24 frames in, and then going from there. um and then once you got it looking good, do the whole run and you have the output. Just make sure the audio is plugged in from your input video to the output so that it syncs the audio over when it does it. Otherwise, you have to go do that later in an editor. So there's no reason to do that. But yeah, as far as like the steps, that's literally it. You just got to choose good static input footage and choose footage where the face doesn't turn to the side too much. You want it to you want that face to kind of be present. I've noticed, I've done videos where the face is like turned like this, and it is working, but it starts to get a little weird because it doesn't really know, doesn't really understand what it's trying to do. It's just it's just working, but yeah. So yeah, I would say, as long as the face is relatively the same orientation, and yeah, I mean the loops is a really cool thing too, because
Mhm.
like there's maybe a whole new art form there, and taking a meme, like a GIF meme that loops, and then just having a monologue over the course of like 8 minutes of this one looping GIF. So, I don't know.
That's cool.
Lots of cool
That's
stuff
a
we can
good
do,
one.
I think. Yeah.
So about installation, when I installed it, I had to go to Kijai GitHub and
Hmm.
go to the develop branch
Yes.
and install it from there.
Uh,
You have to do that, or do you have anything?
okay. So right now, I don't know if this is actually still the case, but I think it is. Right now, the master version only does images. The developer version, the development branch allows you to do video. You don't actually need to do that on the website. You can do that from your command window. Like you can just go into the directory and check out the development branch,
Hmm, hmm.
and that'll swap it over and do your thing. So you
Exactly.
can switch back and forth doing that as well. And then use the workflow from the examples folder. And then the examples folder is for the development version, the example is video. And for the master version, the example is a single image. So,
Oh, there is a real-time example, so you can do that
oh,
real
so they've
time.
just added real time. Yeah, we'll have to play with that.
Wow. So 19 hours ago. Nice.
Yeah, I saw somebody playing with it last night. Kajai was playing with it, but he was struggling to get it to go fast. And then he got it going fast last night. So yeah, I think we'll have to play with that soon, because that means webcam to live portrait, which is
Exactly. Wow.
pretty
Wow.
insane. I would imagine you probably need 30, 40, 90, 40, 80 to get that going full speed. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
Damn, that's insane. This, I do think this is one of the more breaking technologies. Yeah, even now, we have seen like the examples and everything. I still think this breaks a lot of things, and there's so much of it is still
Hmm.
unexplored. Just like in the
Hmm.
production pipeline,
Yeah.
I think there is so much room to apply this technology into the production pipeline.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
so lightweight workflow.
And
It's
it's simple. I mean, as Per said, like you have a video, a driving video, click,
That's
go.
it. Boom.
And
Ready
what
to go.
about the mask? The mask is just like your addition to it, or
No,
do
that's in the it's in the example workflow.
Mm.
No. It's and yeah, that's really just there to take the so this looks like this, it basically puts your face in the middle of the mask, and then it just around the edges, instead of being a hard cut, it's a soft tween into the next thing, so that, yeah, like I was saying, because like, if I don't know if you notice, with a lot of the fast motion and live portrait, the
Yeah.
hair at the top of the head and around the edges will all detach from the face, and it'll stay still and the head will move around, and then yeah, that helps to mitigate that if it's happening. But if your footage is static enough, it tends not to happen, so it's pretty sweet.
I think that's the where we are moving with this, right? Of like the movement, of like capturing the movement as well as possible. Because you also said like
Hmm.
the face kind of needs to be visible at all times. And I think
Yeah.
we have improved, like the AI has improved with this like so much. Like with like the image, like lip syncs that we had at the beginning. I remember, what was it, like the thin spline? Is that what they call it? I don't even remember
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Yeah.
at the very beginning when it was an image and it was like kind of moving and all of these things, but now like already the face, like the muscles on the face, like the skin and the hair, like it's all like kind of consistent with the movement. It's incredible.
Insane the progress, and it all happened in what, 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying earlier, just the way time moves now. Some of this stuff feels like it came out 5 years ago. It came out 5 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's absolutely wild.
Yeah. Mark
So
said
we
it
have
would be
we
cool
have a
to.
question from Mark, which is really interesting, and I'm
Mm.
exploring actually the ComfyUI and Unreal. And he asked, Would it be cool to be able to drive a metahuman animation in Unreal with this?"
Yeah. Especially
What
in real time, right?
is there a pipeline to doing webcam to MetaHuman?
I know for a fact that Stable Diffusion and Unreal can communicate through Comfy. They are able to communicate, but for specific needs, I'm not sure.
Hmm. I'm just updating my nose to see if I can get that
Hmm.
get it to work. Well, it probably just made it worse.
Yeah, probably. Oh, did you do update all?
Of course, you got to
Oh,
do
good
that when you're
luck.
live on
Yeah,
camera.
yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
There you go. The
Nothing yet.
magic.
That's good.
The
That,
magic is in the air.
I still don't think it's gonna work.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's so mad. Let's go to the let's do a live
Troubleshoot.
debug. So we'll
Yeah.
go to the Kidjai. Where are we going? What's this called? Live portrait.
Yeah.
What's this about? What are we doing today?
Um,
Live portrait.
Something
There we go.
about acting, not sure. Oh, we have an
Kidjai
acting
live
class.
portrait. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the issues. See if anyone else is getting this. So the first thing I usually do is go to the issues to see if anyone else is getting the exact same error I'm getting right now, because sometimes something will have changed and then someone else is already bitching about it. So you can just piggyback off that. You don't have to be, you don't always have to be the one starting the feature requests. You can, it's good to check these all the time to see if
100%.
that's a problem.
There's
And I
a
don't
search
know.
for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if the issues are no, the issues are the same for both branches. So yeah, okay.
Hmm.
So we're gonna search for live portrait cropper process and see if anyone's complaining about it. Nobody's complaining about this.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a me problem. So in that case, let's grab the latest example workflow, because whenever I have a problem with one of Kajai's stuff and I ask him what's wrong, he asked me, did I try the example workflow? And I always go, of course I did.
By the way, Pers, what are you using for workflow loaders? You have something in the under your address bar.
Yeah, it's new. It's built into Comfy though.
Is it available for public?
Yes, of course. Yeah, if you go to your little gear in the little sidebar, the
Yeah.
this guy here, this little gear, you click
Mhm.
that gear, and then up here you see beta, use new menu and workflow management. You can change that to disabled, top or bottom.
Oh,
Disabled is the old school
cool.
one, and top or bottom is obviously the new one. And I
Nice.
quite like it. It takes all that stuff from the side and puts it either at the top or the bottom.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
It's so
mine's
cute.
only I like mine on the bottom actually, but because of streaming on YouTube, my face actually covers it up. So I keep it at the top for streaming, but it's, I don't know, there's something real nice about having it at the bottom, and just, you got your workflow, your toolbar, everything's good to go, and that stupid box is out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this with just the default settings. And sorry, give me one moment. I gotta find that video I had of me counting, which I believe is in. I just recently backed up all my stuff, so I don't know where anything is. The usual.
Storage organization with AI and Comfy. can be pretty helpful.
That's the one, I think.
How do you organize your workflows, Spurs? I mean, Jason, usually
I don't.
you just have them
Uh,
in one folder, and here we go.
so I don't usually even really save my workflows because all my workflows are always saved in the outputs. So
Mhm.
what I tend to do then is just grab the output that I'm trying to continue that vibe of, and just because, you know,
Interesting.
unless you're deploying workflows to teams, they change constantly, and I don't care to maintain my own workflows because I might branch off and try some stuff that doesn't work, universally, but I know works with that particular thing I'm going for. So I'll grab that result and just drag it into Comfy, and that's essentially how I handle my workflows.
Yeah.
Just grab the video I liked and drag it into Comfy, and then go from where I was. So
Oh, that's cool. That's
but
very
I have recently been making a sort of greatest hits of, stuff I keep going back to, of, starting points and like my friends' workflows and things like that. But like my old workflows are just like, it's chaos. And
Yeah.
I have a folder that's just all workflow number,
I
So
don't
yeah,
know
when
if
you
you
ask how, I don't organize them.
I
I
don't know
just
if
keep
you know
making
about it,
folders.
but I got this sidebar, and where
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, the N bar or the
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
great.
cool. I love it.
I like the favorite nodes thing too. That's super handy.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we try
So
So
I'm
and
check
just
it
gonna
out.
grab that
get a
footage, which
get
was.
a final result? And I think then
Let's
also
try.
like it's gonna be up to an hour. So if there are any questions for anyone or thoughts, anything you are curious about regarding live portrait or production or anything like that, do ask now. We are very happy to answer questions. I think I've used that exact footage for something. And also it was an AI experiment or something. Damn.
I think I put them in the wrong places.
But it seems to be working now.
Yeah, but oh no, this will work. The audio should be coming from here though, not the other one. That's weird. Whatever. That's a me problem. So yes, this seems to actually be doing the thing. Let's see. When in doubt, just delete everything and start over.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I did once, but when I formatted the C partition, but it didn't work, so I hard formatted it from command prompt, and I formatted the wrong disk, and that was so nice.
I've literally done that before. You do that once or twice in your life, and then
Yeah,
you check real hard next time.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
lost
I,
I
I
lost
like I quadruple or octuple check now when I'm formatting a drive. I'm like, am I sure that this is the one?
now I just physically plug them out. That's it.
Yeah. That's the best move, especially like external drives. Like, why even have them in?
Yeah.
So I think this worked. I think it's just concatenating
Awesome.
uh, the videos. Yep.
Perfect. So they
there we
have to be
go.
careful for FPS, frames per second, or it
Yeah,
just stays
your
original. Yeah.
your yes, the I think because this is 0 and this is 0, I think it'll just be source, but your your final speed has to match your input footage or the audio will not sync up.
Hmm.
So I know this footage is 30 frames per second because I shot it, but if you don't know, you can go find out from what's your problem?
No.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It was the audio that broke it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can add
So
audio in the
the
info.
audio was in this one, and I don't
Yeah.
think there is audio in this
Okay.
one, so that's all it was. But yeah, the what were we just talking about? Oh wow,
Yeah.
this was
Ooh,
a very large one. I'm surprised that worked.
and it was so fast. Wow.
What? That is insanely fast, to be honest.
What's
Oh
your
no, the source is this.
okay?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's fine.
Oh, by the way, what's your GPU, Pers?
3090.
3090. Okay.
Yeah. Live portrait. What were we just talking about though? I feel like I just lost my train of thought. Oh
FPS.
yeah, 30 frames per second, 30 frames per second. If the frame rates are the same, your videos won't sync up. Oh, cool. He's using the video node to determine the frame rate. I see. Smart. That
Without
must be new.
without resizer.
Yeah, he's using the new video helper suite video info node. It's
Oh,
super
cool.
handy.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
haven't
you can
seen that
load
before.
a video in and it'll spit out all this information. So if you need
So
that to plug in somewhere else, you can.
so cool.
Yeah, I saw that a little while ago. It's super handy. There we go.
All right.
Perfection.
Selection.
Acting.
You see, his head is moving an awful lot.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the source footage is no, but you did the perfect shot with the later.
yeah. No, there's. I think this retargeting stuff needs to be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to play with the. I think he changed the way the default workflow works. So
So you do have to
yeah,
mess with settings just a bit.
yeah, you might. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like
Nailed
to
it,
see
Chris.
why.
Hey,
I'd
Chris.
like to see why mine isn't working on the other one, but whatever. Oh, Chris, hey man. Yeah, we nailed it, right? Looks just like me.
Perfection.
My head does that a lot when I talk. It just stretches.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it's almost an hour. Anything else? Any comments like from people as well? Like if anything you want to check? Otherwise, any final thoughts from Pers or Luca? Like where are you at?
I can't wait where this is going to be in 1 month.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, it's already insanely high quality. I mean, obviously it still looks AI. But I've done a couple examples that don't. So yeah, I'm equally excited as I am a little freaked out about where this could lead, as far as misinformation and revenge stuff and blackmailing people, all the horrible stuff that you could do with this. It's a dangerous technology, but I think it's important that it's in everyone's hands, not just certain companies' hands. So I'm glad that it's out. I'm glad that it's available for everyone, because I think that first period of everyone being like, "Oh, everything's fake," it's just like how now our brains, we're wired to just, as soon as we see an ad, we know it's an ad. Like, this is just another layer of media literacy we're all going to have to step up to understand that now there are videos where people can say things they didn't say. So that's a thing that exists now, and people need to be aware of that. We're all on the forefront, we're all on the bleeding edge, so we're aware of all this stuff, but your aunt or uncle on Facebook might not be aware that I can do this at my house. So what can an actual team with an actual agenda pull off, right? So yeah, it's just another reason to always try to determine the source of your media, stay media literate, and learn learn what bias is.
Yeah, those are very
Because
good points. I think even
yeah,
like without this technology, people like my aunts and uncles, they already are like, oh, like this looks real. Let me click on it, So I think
yeah,
this,
they tend to believe just anything if it comes from a somewhat reputable source, or even
yeah,
someone claiming to be a reputable source.
this is definitely society breaking technology in many ways for both like the positive and both for negative. And that's why I think like it comes down to the individual person and how we use it. So that's why also
Mhm.
like all of us here and the people like in the comments that have joined, just use it responsibly. Like you got to think about it, like whatever you create, like other people are going to be influenced by that. You really got to think how you want to influence people. Like when you learn these things, like this technology, you hold so much power in your hands, and that
Yeah,
comes with some responsibility, as they say.
it's also on us to sort of um, inform the normies of what's coming. Because like, you know, we have special interest in this stuff, so we're always researching it, we're always looking at this stuff, but most people don't have time to think about this crap. So it's
Mm.
sometimes it's nice to just tell people what's coming, what to be aware of, because like, yeah, this could like, if a video, you got a video call from your grandmother and it sounded like her and the mouth is moving right, and you know what I mean, or worse, they get a call from you and the mouth is moving right and everything right. Someone could, drain their
Zero
life
thought.
savings that way. So
Zero
you
thought would
just,
go into it.
yeah, they need to know that if it didn't come from my phone number, it's probably not me. All that kind of stuff. We just gotta, yeah, we gotta teach them, because otherwise they're gonna learn the hard way, and that's not good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for teaching, Pers. I highly appreciate it. This was very nice. This was really good. Like just going through it and just like hearing your thoughts and like where you think the AI is and like the legal. I think like a lot of people don't talk about the legal part and the ethics and responsibility. I think that is so important because
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes companies, they just take the technology and they forget about the responsibility. They're just like, we don't need that. Let's leave it there. But yeah, it's very important. Gotta like gotta be responsible about these things. We're all humans. We all want to like build a nice environment for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thank you, Vers. That was awesome.
Yeah, had a
yeah,
blast. Thanks for having me on.
yeah. Thank you all for joining as well for your comments. Glad to hear like the insights and the questions and the thoughts on this. I think this is a very intriguing topic for many. So yeah, we will be seeing you next week. We'll be doing some reaction videos on other. Okay, some more comments coming in. On some other videos with another guest, and then Chris actually is also here. He is also very happy to share some things with us in the future. So yeah, a lot of cool things happening. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Join us next week, next Wednesday. We already have a guest, and we will announce our guest in next couple of days.
yeah,
So
as usual.
thank you, Perth. Thank you, everybody, for joining.